It looks like Janine Glad is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. The adrenaline is pumping. Tommy Glad is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. This is where the mental game comes into play. Wayne Midden is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
You can feel the tension building. Jonathan Visser is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Jonathan Visser handles it.
Jamie Nichols is on their out lap. It looks like Mark Guy is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Mark Guy can deliver.
The adrenaline is pumping. JP Brand is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Carol, but I have a feeling JP Brand is going to make it count.
Mark Guy will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Richard Reshka is nailing both.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
Richard Reshka has completed their first flying lap in 1:24.166. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Mark Guy has just completed a lap in 1:24.495. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but JP Brand is rising to the occasion. JP Brand has just completed that lap in 1:24.278. Their best lap so far is 1:24.278, putting them in P2. Jamie Nichols is up -0.37.
Looks like Jamie Nichols is really cooking with gas out there today.
Wayne Midden is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Janine Glad is up -0.35. Tommy Glad is up minus 0.79.
Well, Carol, it seems like Tommy Glad has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Jonathan Visser is up minus 0.21. Richard Reshka is trying to find that extra performance. JP Brandt is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
Every driver needs something different, Carol. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers benefit more from relaxing and being in a flow state.
JP Brandt will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session. Mark Guy is up minus 0.14.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Mark Guy is just showing us all what they're made of.
Jamie Nichols is trying to find that extra performance. Jamie Nichols will be happy having put themselves into fourth in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Janine Glad has positioned themselves. Janine Glad will be happy having put themselves into fifth in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Wayne Midden has put in a great effort and currently holds sixth. With the session winding down, time is running out for them to unleash their full potential and improve their starting position. Impressive display by Tommy Glad, currently sitting in position 7. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. What a performance from Warren Dodd. They currently occupy 8th on the grid. It's a good spot for now, but other drivers are trying their hardest to put in a better time and push them down the order. Jonathan Visser has secured a respectable 9th in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launchpad for a strong race performance. Incredible drive by Mark Guy so far, earning them third. The competition is fierce, however, and they will need to quickly find more time to get even closer to the sharp end of the grid.
You hit the nail on the head, Carol. Mark Guy's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
J_Jorge_H22, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Taking the second spot is JP Brand. And in the third position, it's none other than Mark Guy. Jamie Nichols is fourth.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
And in fifth place, we have Janine Glad.
Let's see what Janine Glad can do.
From the middle of the pack, we have Wayne Midden in sixth place on the starting grid.
Expect some battling with Janine Glad.
And just like that, the race has started. Now, we'll see who has the skill and nerve to outmaneuver their rivals.
The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes on the track.
Did someone forget to tell Richard Reschke that the race has begun? They're already losing ground. Not the best of starts there for JP Brand, and that's going to immediately make their race more challenging.
It's like they hit a speed bump right out of the gate, but if anyone can bounce back, it's JP Brand.
The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
The drivers are walking a fine line during the first lap melee as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one. Having started in 1, Richard Reschke will be looking to establish themselves in this race. Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
It's always intense racing here at San_Jorge_H22. Hold on to your hats, folks.
It's a solid performance from Mark Guy at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Mark Guy just needs to bide their time and wait for the right opportunity.
This one's going to be tough. Jamie Nichols is getting their elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Warren Dodd to make a move.
Jamie Nichols is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Warren Dodd is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
It looks like Warren Dodd is pushing hard to catch up to Jamie Nichols. That's not a small gap, but Warren Dodd has what it takes to challenge for the position. The gap between Warren Dodd and Tommy Glad is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Warren Dodd to even allow Tommy Glad to get a look in. The gap between Wayne Midden and Jonathan Visser is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Wayne Midden to bring Jonathan Visser into play.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Jonathan Visser is defending for their life, but Janine Glad is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake.
Janine Glad is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless Jonathan Visser makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to 8th.
Janine Glad is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. Janine Glad needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Jonathan Visser.
Janine Glad is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Janine Glad appears to be pushing, hopefully they can keep it together.
A strong showing from Richard Reshka, who is currently first. The gap between JP Brand and Mark Guy may be wide, but that doesn't mean JP Brand is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. It's a battle of wills out there, with Mark Guy trying to outsmart and outmaneuver JP Brand. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's going to be tough for Mark Guy, as JP Brand seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Mark Guy pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
The tension is building as Jamie Nichols trails behind Mark Guy. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Mark Guy is pushing to maintain the lead, while Jamie Nichols is working to close in and challenge for the position. Wayne Midden is running 8th. They are trying to catch Jonathan Visser. A tough moment for Wayne Midden, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 9th. The race is heating up as Mark Guy in 3rd closes in on JP Brand. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Hold on to your hats, folks. Tommy Glad is right on the heels of Warren Dodd, and we're in for a wild ride.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
The action is non-stop as Mark Guy shadows JP Brand through every twist and turn, determined to claim 2nd.
That's right, Mark Guy is determined to pass JP Brand and secure a higher position.
Superb driving from Mark Guy. Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around San_Jorge_H22. This is where the race gets really interesting. Mark Guy is closing in on JP Brand. Mark Guy has just put in a faster lap than JP Brand, so that's going to give them something to worry about. Tommy Glad is on a mission, chasing Warren Dodd, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. So, Carl, considering the high speeds and split-second decision-making involved in racing, what's the impact of even a minor lapse in concentration?
A minor lapse in concentration can have significant consequences, Carol. It could lead to an off-track excursion, a loss of position, or even a collision. That's why it's crucial for drivers to stay focused and alert throughout the race.
Every move counts now as Tommy Glad works to reel in Warren Dodd and overtake for P5.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Tommy Glad is really walking that fine line.
The delta between Mark Guy in 3rd and JP Brand remains over a second, but Mark Guy is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 8 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
This is where experience comes into play. JP Brand has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but Mark Guy is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Wayne Midden trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jonathan Visser. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. It's looking good for Jonathan Visser, sitting in 8th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Jonathan Visser has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Janine Glad is placed 7th at the moment.
Definitely Carroll, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Things don't seem to be going Warren Dodd's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. Things are going according to plan for Tommy Glad, who is currently 5th.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
Jamie Nichols has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Mark Guy. The first expect their only hope at this point is that Mark Guy makes an error. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Mark Guy in 3rd chases after JP Brand. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Mark Guy needs to find a way to close the gap.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Mark Guy in 3rd determined to catch up. But we know JP Brand isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Mark Guy is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between JP Brand in 2nd and Mark Guy. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.4 seconds. A solid performance from Richard Reshka, who is holding down 1st.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
It looks like Mark Guy is pushing hard to catch up to JP Brand. That's not a small gap, but Mark Guy has what it takes to challenge for the position. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Warren Dodd, who is currently in P6. But Tommy Glad is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Warren Dodd. A strong showing from Tommy Glad, who is currently 5th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Tommy Glad has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Mark Guy will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Good news for Mark Guy, the gap to JP Brand has decreased. It's now down to 0.6 seconds. It's a battle of wills out there, with Jamie Nichols trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Mark Guy. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
Absolutely, Jamie Nichols in fourth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The delta between Wayne Midden in ninth and Jonathan Visser remains over a second, but Wayne Midden is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 14 minutes left in this session to make that happen. It's all about consistency for Janine Glad, who is currently 7th.
Definitely Carol, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Richard Reschke is in the lead. Can they stay? The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Richard Reschke, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
What a result for Richard Reschke. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. They really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Impressive second place finish for JP Brand. Impressive drive from Mark Guy to claim the final spot on the podium. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Jamie Nichols, Tommy Glad, Warren Dodd, and Janine Glad. Jonathan Visser and Wayne Midden end in 8th and 9th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at San_Jorge_H22, as we're getting ready to get things underway. We're seeing JP Brand in the second spot.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
On the third grid slot we have Mark Guy.
It's like they're on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Jamie Nichols lines up in fourth place as the engines rev and the race begins. As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Tommy Glad starting in fifth position. Starting from the sixth position, Warren Dodd will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
But don't count him out yet. They've got the skills to pay the bills.
And they're off. The race is now in motion. This is the moment when drivers must show their mettle and find the perfect line.
This is where the real racecraft comes into play. The drivers will be looking for any opportunity to make a move and gain an advantage.
It's all about finding those gaps and making the most of them, especially in these early stages of the race.
And with so many talented drivers on the grid, you know we're going to see some incredible overtakes here in the first sector.
It's not just about making a move, it's about doing it cleanly and without causing any incidents.
Speed 100 kilometers per hour.
You'd think JP Brand was driving a snail instead of a race car, dropping positions at the start like that.
It's gonna mean more work for them, but they should be able to recover. It's early days yet, Carol.
If this were a game of musical chairs, JP Brand just lost their seat, dropping positions right from the start.
Well, it's not the start they wanted, but let's see if JP Brand can turn things around before it's too late.
Looks like Warren Dodd took a page from the Tortoises playbook, but I'm not sure slow and steady wins this race. This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. Every lap is an opportunity for Mark Guy to learn just a little bit more to shave a few tenths or hundredths off their times. Oh, this is getting intense. Jamie Nichols is just a few car lengths behind Mark Guy. The pressure is on for Jamie Nichols as they try to catch up to Mark Guy. The race is heating up as Tommy Glad in fifth closes in on Jamie Nichols. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
That's right, Tommy Glad in fifth knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Jamie Nichols is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Even though Jamie Nichols is a fair way behind Mark Guy, they can't afford to let their guard down. Mark Guy is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Absolutely, and on the other side of the equation, Jamie Nichols can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
The tension is building as Warren Dodd trails behind Jonathan Visser. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Jonathan Visser is pushing to maintain the lead, while Warren Dodd is working to close in and challenge for the position. It's looking good for Richard Reshka, sitting in first.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
It may seem like Mark Guy is far behind, but JP Brand can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Mark Guy an opening to catch up. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Jamie Nichols as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. Well, it doesn't look like Tommy Glad is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Jamie Nichols.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
Things don't seem to be going Wayne Midden's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. Things are going according to plan for Janine Glad, who is currently 7th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Seems like Mark Guy is getting in range of JP Brand. It looks like Mark Guy is making a move. The gap to JP Brand is now down to 0.1 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. Hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
Looks like Mark Guy is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
Hold on a second. Oh dear, Jamie Nichols has had an incident. This is a thrilling battle as Mark Guy edges closer to JP Brand in their fight for P2. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Jamie Nichols in 4th chases after Mark Guy. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Jamie Nichols needs to find a way to close the gap. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Tommy Glad trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jamie Nichols. The gap is over a second, but every fraction. Stop the press. Looks like that's a mistake from Warren Dodd. This could be costly. It would seem Mark Guy is starting to get a bit frustrated here at being held up by Jamie Nichols. It looks like Warren Dodd is pushing hard to catch up to Jonathan Visser. That's not a small gap, but Warren Dodd has what it takes to challenge for the position. A solid performance from Jonathan Visser, who is holding down 8th. The gap between Wayne Midden and Janine Glad is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Wayne Midden to even allow Janine Glad to get a look in.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Janine Glad is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
A strong showing from Wayne Midden, who is currently 6th.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Tommy Glad has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Mark Guy. The first expect their only hope at this point is that Mark Guy makes an error. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Mark Guy, who is currently in P4. But Jamie Nichols is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Mark Guy.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Jamie Nichols is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Mark Guy in P4 doing everything they can to catch up.
It looks like we might get a battle between Mark Guy and Jamie Nichols. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Carol, it's always exciting to see these skilled drivers operating such fantastic machines on amazing tracks.
The action is heating up here as Jamie Nichols is in third, defending from Mark Guy, who is only 0.3 seconds away. Richard Reshka is placed first at the moment. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for JP Brand as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. This is getting exciting. Mark Guy is looking for any gap that might open up the position. Some great driving from Jamie Nichols, who has increased their lead over Mark Guy and is starting to put some distance between them.
That's exactly what Jamie Nichols needed to do.
The delta between Tommy Glad in 5th and Mark Guy remains over a second, but Tommy Glad is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 10 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Tommy Glad tries to reel in Mark Guy. But Mark Guy is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Tommy Glad needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Mark Guy and move up the field.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Janine Glad will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The gap between Janine Glad and Wayne Midden is getting smaller. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. The tension is building as Janine Glad trails behind Wayne Midden. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Wayne Midden is pushing to maintain the lead, while Janine Glad is working to close in and challenge for the position. Things don't seem to be going JP Brand's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. No room for error here. Mark Guy is breathing down the neck of Jamie Nichols, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. It seems like Mark Guy has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Jamie Nichols' lap time there. It's looking good for Mark Guy, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Jamie Nichols. Mark Guy is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Jamie Nichols, who is 0.5 seconds behind. The race is heating up as JP Brand in second closes in on Richard Reshka. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with JP Brand in second determined to catch up. But we know Richard Reshke isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate, JP Brand is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
It's like Richard Reshka has saved all their energy for this final stretch.
They'll be the ones celebrating.
The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Richard Reshka.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Richard Reshke. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
A nail-biting finish, but JP Brand claims second place.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
That was an outstanding performance from Mark Guy. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Jamie Nichols, Tommy Glad, Wayne Midden, and Janine Glad in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Finishing 8th and 9th is Jonathan Visser and Warren Dodd.